Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making some ephemera bits using stamps. I have been watching a lot of Crafty by Tony lately and she creates in this style. And I thought it would be fun to give it a go myself. Feel free to either sit back and enjoy the video or craft along with me. I am starting off with some 200 grams paper. You could also use watercolor cardstock if you'd like. I also have my distressed ink stains and oxides. You could use a paintbrush, Dauber or Brayer to help ink your paper. I usually just spray and smear the ink with my Brayer. I'm starting off with staining my pages. First, spraying some water down on my desk, adding distress ink in the color of my choice. I'm using vintage photo and tea dye spray stains. Now I'm adding Salvaged Patina spray stain and Spruce Oxide spray. Now that I have my pages stained and ready, let's get to stamping. I just got some new stamps in the mail a few days ago and that's what I will be using to stamp with. A lot of people have asked me what storage folder I am using. This is the timholtz stamp storage binder. You also get a similar one for dies. I will leave a link to both in the description box. I also have some older stamp sets I got off AliExpress a long time ago that I don't really use very often, so I've got those out to play with as well. I'll be sure to link whatever I can in the description box, if you're interested. I will be stamping using the Stays-On ink in jet black. So, the idea here is to stamp super randomly around the page. This is pretty self-explanatory, so enjoy! The stamps you see me using here is from the Timholtz and Stampers Anonymous Entomology stamp set. The large stamp with writing on it is one of my favorites, but because it was so big, I hardly ever used it. So I decided to cut the stamp up into tinier bits so that I can use them more often. And for the record, I have used them in almost every project I've created since. These lovely moth and butterfly stamps are from Amazon by a brand I recently discovered. They're quite popular on Instagram. I had many of my followers rave about them in my comments. They go by the name Globeland and have so many amazing stamp sets to choose from at a very affordable price. I will leave a link to their website and Amazon store in my description box. This stamp set here is the samples dates from the past stamp set. I've been wanting this set for the longest time, and I'm glad I finally got my hands on it. Honestly, at this point, I was having so much fun stamping. Once you get started and you're not overthinking the placement so much, you almost get into a flow of things, and it's just a good old time. Over the last few days, I've created at least 5 pages because that's how much I enjoy it. So, if your cup of creative juices runneth empty, just bust out whatever stamps you have and get to stamping. It keeps you going and the fun ideas follow. And there you have it, all done. Here is what my page looks like. I have created 2 other pages off camera as well, and that's what those look like. Now, for creating the ephemera, I am using the timholtz CCC Vintage Labels die set to create a couple of labels. I'll be using my CCC sidekick to cut these out, so I am going to cut my page up into strips wide enough to fit through the sidekick. I'm now going to find a place on my page that I want to cut out. I'm then adding ink to my labels by running my brayer over my ink pad and transferring the ink onto my labels. Not sure why, but the sidekick never wants to vacuum to my table. Naughty little thing, but I love him nonetheless. Wait for it. Now look at that. These dies are everything. So you get the gist. I'm going to make a couple more of these labels. And last things last, I'm going to end by cutting up the other strips into small pieces. And these make some neat ephemera for clusters, embellishments, or backgrounds to die cut on. And here's what we have. Lovely little pieces that you can stash away and pull out when you're ready to add them to a project. I love this style of mass making because you make so much in such a short time and always have ephemera for when you need it. I'm probably going to use these to make some clusters. That's another idea I got from Tony. Be sure to check out her channel for more inspiration. I'll try and make a video on how I create my clusters soon. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you make your own stamped ephemera, let me know how you liked it and how you'd use them in your projects. That's all for today. I'll see you all on the next one. Until then, stay creative.